Our scars do not define us, they refine us. God will not put you through something that he doesn't think you can overcome. Dude, we went in debt. I'm 26 living at my parents, man. This is not sexy. I was thinking about waiting until I move again to start making content, but there's no better time than the present. And they say rocket ships take 95% of its fuel just to get in the air. The rest is just routine. And I feel the same way with this video. If you don't know who I am, I'm Shane, founder of Streignth. I started a fitness brand when I was 18 in my college dorm room. We've sold in all 50 states, 20 countries. Right now, we're in the green. We're not in debt anymore. Doing about 60, 70,000 monthly. Apparel, supplements, coaching, a whole community about transformation. You can check out the link in my bio for joining our free community. But we gotta talk, man. There's so much to go through. If you're somebody striving to go on your own path, my goal is to save you heart and headaches of this journey of trying to better yourself. Because when you go against the grain, when you try to do different things, you will face resistance. God's not gonna let you go through something he doesn't think you can handle. My whole life, I put validation into external things. I wasn't the standout athlete. I never got the girls in high school. So I came to college, and this whole time since starting the brand, I was on a redemption arc. I realized over the last year, I put all my self-worth into fleeting metrics that could be taken away from you in a second. And that's what happened. So I'm gonna take you back to August 2025. I was living in Florida, moved to Florida from Wisconsin. Was living there for about a year, and we were in between leases, my roommate and I. We went to Mexico to visit his family for a few weeks. Got to go skydiving. It was a blast. A couple days later, we got super sick. You're not supposed to drink the water there. I drank some ice cubes. We got sick, both of us. Parasites ripping through our gut, our stomach. Couldn't drink water for about 3, almost 4 days. Coming home, I'll tell you right now, that flight was rough. 2 different flights, man, puking and all that stuff. Thank the Lord made it home safe. So I didn't plan on coming back to Wisconsin. And at the time, we were not in debt. We were doing pretty good. But getting sick, came back to Wisconsin. The week I was back, I posted just a regular shirtless picture. And like I said, you can't have the light without the dark. You have to go through the hard times. So AI, for example, I love AI. I learned how to make a whole app. It saved me thousands of dollars of in-house systems, which I can talk about in later videos. But the con of AI is it's not perfect yet. AI moderators on Instagram banned my account. My main account has about 16,000 followers, not a whole lot. But the Streignth business account was connected to it. We're an online fitness business. We're not a brick and mortar that people can just come in. You see us online. So our Instagram and Facebook fully banned for a whole month. And I had the biggest ego death and realizations ever. I'm like, oh, first off, I can't move back to Florida. Business started to tank because we couldn't market ourselves. About a month later, thankfully, Instagram came back. I disconnected the Streignth page from my Shane page. 2 days later, Shane page gets banned again. So my personal account has basically been off the grid, consistently banned 4 different times over the last 6 months. And I had to contact Meta directly. I'm back on socials now. I went through a season of about 6 months not putting my self-worth in the wrong spot, which I'm so grateful for. I think a lot of us, we care so much about the followers, the likes. We're checking, we're refreshing all the time. We're so attached to the outcome that, oh gosh, they have to like me. I have to be performing. You find out that you're auditioning for a role you didn't even ask to be in the movie for. And that's how I was. I had to escape the validation trap, and it took getting banned. I think I just posted that shirtless picture and it marked me as a nudity. So it was wrongful. It's all good. Now I'm back up. Knock on wood, knock on this paperback wood of this book I wrote during this dark season. So we went through 3 different phases to get out of debt, because when you're not on socials, it's hard to grow an online business. So we went $100,000 in debt. I had to let go of 3 different employees. They're all my friends too. We have a very much smaller team now, but I had such a different mindset. I was still chasing hookup culture. I wanted what looked big and fancy on the outside. I wanted to have a brick and mortar. We almost signed a lease with a Pilates studio down in Florida, which would have costed $10,000 monthly. Buffoons. We were tweaking. So glad we didn't sign that. I was so focused on what everybody else saw. I wasn't following my brand's mission statement, which is reign from within. It's about outcomes don't matter. You have to put your self-worth into core values taken away from you. In that first couple months that I was banned, it was so dark. I just remember, why is this happening? What are you trying to teach me? I went to UW La Crosse and I spoke with a advisor I had because I have a bachelor's in marketing and minor in Spanish. I don't know how much it's really helped for strength, but I met some cool advisors there. And this one girl, older lady, she emailed me. She's like, hey, you're in town. Let's catch up. So I went into UW La Crosse. I told her all about what was going on. She said, you need to have core values that can never be taken away from you. So we established the RAIN protocol: resilience in adversity, excellence in standard, integrity in character, growth in mind, body, spirit, nobility in legacy. You can use those if you want to borrow from strength. That's what our strength athletes, everybody who's a part of our movement, lives by. We had 3 different phases over the last year that I'm a big terminology guy, like strength, inner empire, reign from within. I'm a huge lover of video games, so I basically made my life a video game. These 3 seasons were the Great Reset. This is explaining how I got out of debt. So $100,000 in debt. I had the Great Reset, having to let go of employees, cut expenses, move home with my parents. I love them to death. I'm so grateful that they were willing to take me back. And it's been awesome being able to reconnect with them after college. And now that I'm grown up, it's been some of the best moments with my mom and dad. I think through this process, I've genuinely became a man. I think every person has to go through a heartbreak and setbacks in order to really step into the person God is calling them for. So the Great Reset involved cutting expenses, building the back end. I wrote a book over a course of about 3 months, Scars to Strength, 22 Laws of Self-Mastery. What I'm talking about in this video right now is essentially the prologue and little bits and pieces. I'm going to dive more into these in future videos. Wrote the book, started the podcast, launched 28 ARC Challenge. People put external, oh, I got to make a certain amount of money today, or yo, I have to hit this PR bench, or I have to hit this number of followers. But it's about the inputs. It's about these 7 different habits we have established with the 28 ARC Challenge. It's focusing on the inputs, like what can you control? 10 minutes of meditation, chapter of a book, 60 minutes working out, gallon of water. Focusing on the inputs, let the results speak for themselves, and not focusing on just those. Then we went through the Great Migration. All right, that was phase 2. Launched an app with AI. So as crappy as the AI moderators were on Instagram and Facebook for banning me wrongfully, that's on the App Store. It's this really fun community. Building relationships. The Great Migration was getting everybody over to this new app. Saves me about $3,000 a year not having to use. I was using Mighty Networks. If I would have chosen Mighty Networks to white label it, so it would have said the Strength brand, that would have cost me $20,000. So I basically saved 20 grand by learning a skill. There's no excuse these days. If you want to pave your own path, start making content, starting a business, or scaling, maybe you're already on this journey, all the information is at our disposal. What it comes down to is about your environment. It's about who you surround yourself with. Because if you have these crazy good ideas, you go telling your mom and dad and your sisters or your brothers or your friends that you grew up with that know the version of you that is where it's at, it's hard for them to imagine the future version of yourself you have in your mind. They can't read your mind. So it's better to just build in private like we just did this past year. I didn't post anything. Building in private yielded the growth of being able to learn how to put my values and self-worth in the right things and not let it force on the metrics. I have to mention it. Thomas Shelby, one of my favorite characters of all time, he has the mindset in the show Peaky Blinders that he's already dead. He is went through World War One. Numerous times in the show, he basically died. In that philosophy of dying to self, everything else is extra. You remain detached from the outcome and you trust that no matter what, everything's going to work out, and or how much really matters. I'm going to make an impact. I'm going to work hard, but I'm not going to care about the outcome. It's good to have goals, but put it into things that are in your control, right? These core values: resilience, excellence, integrity, growth, nobility, not in your followers, your bank account, what other people say or think. You have to focus on your inner empire. Reign from within. I hope you take something away from this. Yeah, I gotta eat, man. I had a great workout. Ground beef and eggs. It's calling my name. So like and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. All right, peace.